Hey, this is Trader Travis, and for the last year, I participated in the 2020 U.S. Investing Championship, and I'm excited because the final results are in. But before I share how I did, let's take a walk down memory lane, because in 2019, I was the winner of the Futures and Options Division, also called the Enhanced Growth Division. Now, I was not the only competitor that year. As a matter of fact, I have a couple of old prior results pulled up from, reporting in the middle of that year. Well, there was another competitor named Kevin. I don't know where he was. He didn't end up in the final results, as well as one more. I believe this was a female competitor, but I was the only one who won, because the way the competition works is you only report if you win. So I wound up winning. I guess I don't know, but I assume I'm the only one that made money that particular year. And my performance was not that great, 30-something%. That's basically where the market ended in 2019. So how did I do in 2020? All right, you ready? I'm excited. Drum roll. 7th place. Or second to last, if you want to look at it that way. And I'll share why I'm laughing here in a second. So I did not win in 2020, but I still was a top contender, still wound up being one of the people on the leaderboard for the end of the competition. Yeah, I'm on the leaderboard. One of the ones who wound up winning, even though people say options are risky, you'll lose all your money, right? And another reason, well, first, let me just go ahead and share all the reasons why I'm thrilled, even though I came in 7th place. One of the reasons is because the return this year, 34.5%, shows consistency. That's about my average, 15 to 30% a year. Even though people tell me that's unrealistic and it's impossible, that seems to be what I generally get. And it's how even my wife and I even plan around things. Like if we want to buy something, I look at what I have and I said, okay, I usually average 15 to 30%. So we'll save up enough money in, 2 to 3 years, whatever it is. And also I have several accounts I manage. So I pulled up several more, and one of them, so this is a competition account. This was the U.S. investing competition account. And so you can kind of see the growth there. This is the 2020 competition account. So that was that 30% growth. So you can see a lot of volatility there, up and down movement. So it's not like a consistent upward. And sadly, I didn't follow my own rules in this account. So that frustrates me. And I'll kind of talk about I may or may not enter next year. We'll see. My ego kind of gets in the way every time I get in this competition. So I don't do that well. So here's an account that was not part of the competition. And if you can see, it's still volatile, but it wound up doubling in price. So I'm like, great. The one account I did not put in the competition wound up pretty much doubling in price. But that's rare, because again, my average is about 15 to 30%. So here's Fidelity. Here's my IRA account, where it shows this is for I think a 1 year return. Yeah, 1 year return. Sure, it shows 47%, and then Charles Schwab shows 37. So you still see that range, 15 to 30. That's about what I get, and I'll kind of share why I have several accounts here in a second. But let's come back to the competition. Now, the reason I'm thrilled about 7th place, it's mainly not about the place I entered, it's my performance, the 30-something%, because that shows consistency. I would rather have a consistent 30% every single year versus 100% every now and then, or 100% that's based on luck. Now, am I implying the people who won, based on luck, like the guy 400%? I don't know. I don't know them, honestly. I like to think it's based on skill, and I hope it is, right? Because if they can consistently find a way to double their account every year, and they offer a course, this guy's signing up for it, right? In my experience, I just have not been able to consistently double my account every year. But 15 to 30 is doable based on my strategies. So that leads to kind of next year. I don't know if I want to enter, because I've noticed two years in a row, I didn't follow the own blueprints I teach. And I've paid the price for it, because my competition account tends to underperform the model accounts inside of my program. So if I enter next year, it will be for that. So I can finally show the power of the strategies that we teach in the Success Academy, and to kind of get a rein on my ego, because I didn't like how the fact that I just started being greedy and doing things to kind of prove that I can win. And it's just crazy nonsense in my head. So that's why I'm kind of hesitant. I don't know if I will sign up for 2021. But I have to admit, ego again, like two-time U.S. investing champion has a nice ring to it. But again, that's about ego. I have found that when I am a service to other people, which is why our motto counts in the Success Academy, I'm modeling what I teach them. I have found that when I am of service to other people, I tend to do better performance-wise. So that's the only reason I may enter, is that, hey, I want to show and have a record to show people that, hey, this was the only year I actually modeled my templates, and here's what are the performance of our templates and what's possible. Another reason I am thrilled with my second to last place, right? And I'm teasing. But if you think about my background, I grew up American poor, right? Speaking of that trigger word, I realized the other day, it was weird. Like, somebody sent us steaks, and I had a freak out moment because I realized I didn't know how to cook a steak, right? Steaks are for rich people. That's, everything's for rich people growing up. We didn't eat steak. We ate like pork chop or fried chicken. I didn't realize I still ate pretty much like a poor person, right? I didn't realize I never upgraded my eating habits or the way we cook and things like that. Like, I had no clue how to cook a steak. Never in my life have I owned a grill, don't know how to cook on a grill, never cooked a steak. So I had to contact my buddy to teach me how to cook a steak. He recorded a 30-minute video teaching me how to cook a steak, and it was weird. I'm almost pushing on 50 here, and I'm like, oh gosh, I don't even know how to cook a steak yet, right? But anyway, so if you think about my background, growing up American poor, the house we lived in had no running water or bathroom. We used the bathroom in a 5-gallon paint bucket. That was our toilet. So the credentials of the people I compete with, like, they go to like, they have degrees from like famous universities. They run hedge funds. There are, kids of famous investors. What else? Some of them are like market makers and things like that. But despite all that, this guy who grew up using the bathroom in a 5-gallon paint bucket, I'm ex-military. That's a credential I'm proud of. But other than that, I'm a nobody compared to them, and I'm still one of the top investors in the U.S. according to the competition. Now, of course, they're probably better investors than us. They just don't compete. They have nothing to prove, and that's kind of why I'm kind of hesitant about next year. I don't have anything to prove, right? I'll always have the title of U.S. investing champion because I won in 2019. I don't know. So what do you think? Put in the comments, what do you think I should compete next year or not? Would it be beneficial to you? I don't know. So the third reason why I'm thrilled with my performance and the fact that I'm a top contender is that, think about my background, and also what you don't know, being a little vulnerable here, is I have a host of emotional issues. So I grew up poor, abused as a kid, all that. So no excuse, but I have issues. My wife will tell you. I asked her the other day, I said, do I have emotional and relational disability? She's like, yeah. Right? The accounts. So I have so many accounts. Mental illness runs in my family. So I remember my grandma going in and out of like, we used to call it the crazy house. I don't know the politically correct term for it, but, and excuse the background noise, I'm next door to a musician. So my mom, my uncles, they all run mental illness. I think the lady said it was paranoid personality disorder or something like that. So I suffered a little bit from that paranoia, so I don't like all of my money being in one account. So I like spreading it out. Is a trust thing. Second reason I'm thrilled with the performance is because, again, I have issues, slight OCD, things like that. Like, funny, my wife, it's a movie made in, I think, the 90s with Julia Roberts in it called Sleeping with the Enemy. And there's a husband in there who, like, has the cans in the cabinet. He always rearranges them a certain way. They have to be a certain way. She was like, yeah, that's you, minus the abuse and all that other stuff. But yeah, I'm walking around the house. If a towel's not folded right, I'll refold it. Or if it's not sitting right, if shoes are not a certain way, I'll align it. Or magazines are moved a little bit, I'll move it, right? Those are my issues. And if things are not right, I get crabby. It's a trigger for me. I get upset and I wind up yelling at my wife and kids, and I have to apologize. Like, I'm sorry. Like, my attitude is not, you didn't do anything wrong, it's my issue, my anger is my, you go through that spiel. So they understand I have issues, they're patient with me, and I work through those. I get better every year. But all of that, right, I have all these issues, the background, and I still can compete with the world's best investors. So I'm happy. Whether I wound up first or seventh, I'm okay with that. And the last and final reason is, no matter what place I came in, I am still a successful, financially independent investor, someone that people counted out. They told me I'd be dead by the time I was 20. People tell me I'm lucky buying options doesn't work. And I've succeeded with buying options for years, right? Despite all of that, everybody counting me out, telling me I'm a fraud, like I'm still doing good. So I am happy no matter what place I'm in, because no matter what place I'm in, I still win as an investor. My earnings are way more than what our bills costs or bills are. So we're good. Now I'm not like massively wealthy like Jeff Bezos wealthy, but we're financially independent. That's all I can ask for. So that's all I have for you. Take care. And again, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think I should compete? Will it be any use any use to you if I compete? Because again, I mean, what's the purpose of competing unless it's going to help you? Because that's why I do what I do. So let me know in the comment section. And until then, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.